Hello and welcome. When we think of ancient Rome, what comes to mind? Legions marching, colosseums packed with cheering crowds, the breathtaking architecture of the Pantheon. We picture an empire of sophistication, power, and engineering genius, but there's a side of Rome we often overlook, a grittier, much smellier side. The day-to-day reality of life in a city of over 1 million people, living cheek by jowl. Without modern plumbing or sanitation, the Romans gave us the aqueduct, the public bath, and the Cloaca Maxima, the great sewer. They were pioneers of urban hygiene. Yet, the question remains, how did they cope with the stench of their own success? How did they deal with the pervasive, sickening smell of sewage, refuse, and humanity in the relentless heat of the Italian summer? Today, we're diving deep into the forgotten corners of Roman life to uncover 5 ancient hygiene secrets ingenious, sometimes bizarre methods they used to keep the empire from literally stinking. These aren't just historical footnotes. They are lessons in engineering, sociology, and the surprising resilience of the human nose. Secret 1. The perfumed water of the great sewer. The Romans knew that simply moving waste was not enough. They had to mask it. They created a vast, integrated system where the overflow from their glorious public baths, the thermi, was strategically cannelled. Think about this. The baths were supplied by massive aqueducts, delivering millions of gallons of fresh, clean water every day. After Romans had finished their elaborate bathing ritual, the water, often mixed with fragrant oils, herbal residues, and soap-like substances used in the frigidarium and tepidarium, didn't just disappear. The ingenuity. This used, lightly scented bathwater was directed into the sewers, acting as a constant, heavy flush. This wasn't just to move the sewage. It was to perpetually dilute and perfume the air rising from the network. The effect? The flow was so strong it likely functioned as a kind of ancient deodorizing barrier, mitigating the truly putrid fumes. It was an accidental, but highly effective, water-powered air freshener. They didn't just manage the waste. They used their clean water infrastructure to mitigate the smell of the waste. Secret 2. The sponge on a stick, Tersorium, and the flowing trench. Now, let's get personal. We need to talk about the public latrines, the social centers of Rome. It sounds strange, but they were often beautiful, marble-clad spaces. The true secret here wasn't the architectural beauty, but the hidden engineering right beneath the seats. Imagine rows of holes in marble benches. Beneath these benches ran a constantly flowing trench of water, continuously flushed from the same systems feeding the baths and sewers. This moving stream carried away the immediate waste. But the real marvel, the thing that addressed the smell at the source, was the communal cleaning device, the Tersorium. This was a sponge fixed to a long stick, kept in a bucket of water or vinegar. The hidden trick. The Romans didn't just use water in the trench. They often added vinegar, acetum, or even salt water to the flow. Vinegar is a powerful, cheap natural disinfectant and deodorizer. The constant presence of mildly acidic, flowing water helped neutralize the ammonia and other powerful, foul-smelling chemicals before they had a chance to fully off-gas into the room. It was a pre-modern application of chemical neutralization. Secret 3. The gods of the smells and the power of superstition. The Roman mind was both pragmatic and deeply superstitious. They understood that foul smells were often linked to disease, which they attributed to dark, subterranean forces, the spirits of the underworld. To combat the smell and the associated danger, they turned to the divine, the secret rituals. Romans often placed small shrines or statues of protective gods, like Crepitus, the god of flatulence, believe it or not, within their latrines. They weren't just decorative. They were designed to appease the underground spirits and ward off the miasma, the Greek concept of noxious air thought to cause plague. The practical effect? These rituals, combined with the burning of incense and fragrant resins, often myrrh or frankincense, materials widely available across the empire, were a non-scientific attempt at pest control and a very real method of overpowering the smell with something stronger and more pleasant. The psycho-spiritual belief helped them tolerate conditions that would make us instantly recoil. Secret 4. The strategic use of pungent herbs. The Roman diet and personal grooming habits played a critical role in masking the pervasive odors of urban life. They didn't have Febreze, but they had an empire's worth of spices and herbs. The body oil. Solution. Wealthy Romans constantly applied perfumed oils, unguentum, derived from exotic flowers, resins, and herbs. These weren't just for vanity. They were a necessary defense. The strong, persistent scents clung to the skin and clothing, creating a personal odor shield against the surrounding environment. The aromatic cuisine. Their food, rich in garlic, onions, strong spices, and wine, meant that the average Romang's breath and body odor were already potent. This may seem counterintuitive, but it's a form of olfactory camouflage, using a set of strong, familiar smells to drown out the truly repulsive ones from the streets and sewers. They were used to a world of intense scents. Secret 5. The master engineers of vents and drafts. Finally, we return to Roman genius, but this time in the often overlooked area of ventilation. The greatest secret to managing the canalization smell was not eliminating it, but managing where it went. The vertical solution. In the larger, more sophisticated sewer systems, Roman engineers designed vertical shafts that led from the main tunnels to the surface, often disguised within street furniture or at the edges of buildings. These shafts acted as rudimentary chimneys, using the difference in air pressure to pull the noxious gases upward and release them high above the street level. The wind power. By strategically placing these vents and aligning them with the prevailing winds, they ensured the worst of the sewer gas, including deadly methane, was carried away from crowded streets and markets. It wasn't perfect, but it was a calculated attempt to use atmospheric engineering to manage toxic airflow in a pre-industrial city. Conclusion. The enduring lesson. The Romans remind us that ingenuity is born from necessity. They didn't defeat the smell of the empire. They managed it, masked it, and engineered their lives around it. They used their clean water to perfume their dirty water. They turned their toilets into social clubs with built-in sanitation flows. They used spiritual belief and aromatic oils to create a defense against the unseen dangers of their dense, sprawling metropolis. Their solutions were a complex blend of massive public works, simple chemical neutralizing, personal habits, and cultural belief. It shows us that true civilization isn't just about building grand monuments. It's about the relentless, often unglamorous, pursuit of making daily life in a complex society tolerable. What does this tell us about our own lives today? Well, perhaps that even our most modern, sophisticated problems often have solutions that are surprisingly simple, if we look for them in the right, or in the Romang's case, the SMELLIES-places. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this journey into the forgotten corners of history. What other lost secrets of the Roman Empire should we uncover next? Let me know in the comments below.